What's going on guys, it's your boy Mr. Woz, and in today's video I'll be testing another moneymaker from the OSRS Wiki, and this time it's casting Superglass make with giant seaweed. Now I'm going to go through all of these moneymakers no matter how tedious the task is, and I'll switch things up depending on what you guys want me to do in the comment section below. Now according to the OSRS Wiki you can make around 583k GP profit per hour, which is 15,660 molten glass, so that's really nice. You can also gain 46.8k magic XP and 108k crafting XP within the hour, so really nice gains you can get there. I will also need 10,800 buckets of sand, 1,800 giant seaweed and 1,200 astral runes according to the wiki, which will cost me 1.2 mil. Now there is a few requirements as usual, and the only skill requirement is having 77 magic to cast a Superglass make spell. For the items you will need a smoke battle staff, which is 1.7 mil, but if you don't want to spend that much you can just use a tome of fire and a staff of air. You'll also need astral runes as I mentioned earlier, as well as 18 buckets of sand and 3 giant seaweed per inventory. The only quest requirement is completing Lunar Diplomacy, which gives you access to the Lunar Spellbook, which is how you cast Superglass make. So very minimal requirements to make a lot of GP as well as gaining a lot of XP as well. So when you use the Superglass make spell you will turn the sand and seaweed into molten glass, and on average you will make 1.3 glass per sand and seaweed, or 1.6 glass per sand and giant seaweed, which is the method I'm using today. You will gain 78 XP in magic and 180 XP in crafting per cast, and per cast you will need 2 astral runes, 6 fire runes and 10 air runes, but as you will have the tome and the staff you won't need to worry about that. Now this method is very click intensive, so your clicks need to be somewhat on point to have maximum efficiency, and according to the OSRS Wiki you could do 600 casts per hour, or with perfect clicks you could do 850 casts. So every time you cast a spell your inventory will be full of molten glass, and most of the time the molten glass will be dropped on the floor. Now for the best XP rates you can leave the glass on the floor, but as I want the maximum GP per hour I'll be picking up all the glass. This is also a popular method for Iron Men to gain crafting and magic XP, as you can get the buckets of sand and seaweed fairly easily. Now you can do this at any bank wherever is best for you, and of course you don't need to wear any specific gear, but this time I have made the effort to look half decent while skilling. If you're wondering what this gear is, it's Dragonstone armour, which looks really cool, and it actually goes well with my RD Mats cape. This gear is a little pricey, just costing over 5 mil. You can actually get this as a reward from the Elven Crystal chest, which requires a key and some crystal shards to make the enhanced key. So that's enough of that, so let's get back to the Superglass making. So I'm 30 minutes into this method now, and what I'm going to do is give you some tips and tricks like always to make this method much easier and more efficient. So tip number 1 is bank filters. Now this is a good one to give you maximum efficiency and makes this a little less click intensive. So the bank can be filled with bank filters by enabling them in the bank settings menu on the top right corner just below the X. You can remove the desired amount of bank filters from the bank by right clicking a bank filter. But having a bank full of filler items allows you to decide which items you want to deposit. So I'm going to show you an example now of a few inventories and explain what I mean. So when I bring out the buckets of sand and seaweed I cast a spell, and when I bank the molten glass the astral runes stay in my inventory. Now to do this you will need to remove the runes from your bank and get rid of the placeholders if you have one. Then enable the bank filters as I mentioned before, and you'll be able to deposit your inventory without having to consistently withdraw the runes. This saves so much time and effort, and you could do this with any item as long as it's removed from your bank and as well as no placeholders. The next tip is called Inventory Viewer, and this is another great one as this gives you an overlay showing the contents of your inventory. This is useful for other skills when using the Lunar Spellbook, such as spinning flax or tanning leather, or when doing other actions on non-inventory tabs. So to do this you'll have to go on the settings tab on Runelite and type in Inventory Viewer, and you'll get the overlay like I have, and all you got to do is switch it on. The last tip I can give you, and it's a fairly obvious one but I'm going to share this with you anyway, and that is setting the quantity of your buckets of sand to 18. I know you're thinking that's obvious, but some people don't do this or even don't know about it. So all you have to do is right click the cross and set the quantity, and then all you have to do is simply left click and it will withdraw 18 buckets of sand. Now regarding the seaweed you can't set the amount like you did with the sand, so you will have to manually withdraw them, so you don't have to be super fast with your clicks. but eventually you will get into a rhythm doing this and you'll get faster with your clicks over time. So that was the 3 helpful tips for you guys, and I'm just going to show you how this all works. So I'm going to give you an example with all 3 tips combined. I won't speed this up because I want you to see how it works real time, so here is a few inventories. So I'm coming up to the 1 hour mark now, and I think I've done pretty well. My clicks were half decent, but let's price check all the molten glass and see how much I have made. Okay guys, so here is all the molten glass I made within the hour, so 11,138, so let's see how much I have made. Just under 1.3 mil. Now minus the supplies I used, which was 6,960 buckets of sand, which was 264k. I also used 1,160 giant seaweed, which cost me 397k, and I used 774 astral runes, which came to 132k, so altogether I still made 500k. Now considering the cost of supplies, I still made half a mil within the hour, so it's not too bad. So let's go back to the OSRS Wiki and compare the hourly rates, etc. So the wiki was saying I could make 583k GP per hour, so I was 83k short there, but if my clicks were perfect throughout the hour, I think I would have reached the target. Now regarding the XP rates, the wiki was saying 46.8k magic XP and 108 crafting XP. So in the end I managed to get 30.1k magic XP and 69.6k crafting XP. I also done 387 casts per hour as well. Now if my clicks were a lot better, then I would have reached the target, but they weren't great at the start, but I don't want to make too many excuses. It was hard to maintain such a high intense rate throughout the hour as well, but only towards the last 15 minutes or so my clicks were really good. Also, if I was focusing on the XP rates, then I would have left the molten glass on the floor when they drop and continue casting. I think I would have reached the wiki's XP rates, but there you go. Now if you are fast and accurate at clicking and you don't mind trying this method out, then definitely give it a go, as you can make some decent money as well as XP gains. Now before I end this video, someone commented an idea on one of my recent videos, and I thought it would be a nice idea so you can see the progress throughout the money making videos, and I thought it would be something new towards the end of my new videos. Now I've done charging fire orbs, casting tan leather, killing worms, making barrows teleports, collecting nature runes, hunting implings at Puro Puro, and my total profit at the moment is 3.7 mil, so that's not too bad. Now add on the profits from this one, which is the Superglass make, and that is 500k, so my total profit now is 4.2 mil, so looking nice at the moment, and that is the same price as a bond, believe it or not. I will end up doing high tier money makers at some point, but it all depends on what you guys want me to do. That's why I love to see your suggestions in the comment section below. Now I do have a few money makers that I'm working on, and these are Pyramid Plunder, collecting bananas, now that should be an interesting one, thieving master farmers at Hosidius, barrows and brutal black dragons. So if you've got any other suggestions, let me know in the comment section below. So that is the end of the video guys. If you've liked this video, make sure you give this a big thumbs up like always. Comment below on what moneymaker I should be testing next, and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn on those notifications so you'll be the first one to watch my videos. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.